It's 9:45 a.m., October 4th. A beautiful morning, about 60 degrees. Highs going to be getting up to about mid-70s. And I am beginning another Adirondack High Peaks hike. My goals today are Esther Mountain and Whiteface Mountain. Really looking forward to it. Well, I just discovered something. I just came down this path from the parking area. Okay, and the instructions were to turn left. There's a left right here. That's what I did. This spent about 35 minutes walking up what turned out to be a path for bikes and snowmobiles. So I wasted about, as I said, 35 minutes. I'm not going to go down this way. This is the correct path at this morning. So very frustrating start to the hike, but you know, we deal with the cards we're dealt with, and we're going to make this happen. Well, I'm looking at a trail that's about to get very steep very quickly. That's the kind of trail I expect from the Adirondack High Peaks. So I'm going to assume this is the correct trail. There's no reason to assume otherwise, but again, very frustrated by the directions in the guidebook I had. But off we go. So this is the trail, and you can tell by how steep it is immediately and unforgivingly. Welcome to the High Peaks Trails. Here we go. So this trail continues to be extremely steep and relentless. Just straight up. This is the first view on the trail. Well, I just finished that incredibly steep stretch, and it was 800 feet of elevation in 0.8 miles. So that's legit. That's serious elevation. So just walked a few feet and just made a right turn towards Esther Mountain. And over the next 1.2 miles to Esther Mountain, the elevation is going to go up 1,200 feet. So the same pace rate as the 800-foot elevation I just did for 0.8. So another extremely steep section about to come up. Right now it's a brief reprieve. So here we got some very steep rock slabs to go up. Continuing up the steep and narrow path to Esther Mountain. Trail's leveled off a bit at the moment. Still waiting for some indication of where Esther Mountain summit is. I feel like I'm reasonably close to it. We just reached the juncture point where you make a right turn on this path to get to Esther Mountain, which is 1 mile ahead. It's supposed to be the most difficult mile of today's hike, which is sort of hard to imagine given the level of difficulty so far, but here we go. Well, as I approach Esther Mountain, it's cooled down considerably, and you can feel a breeze, lovely breeze. And the trail so far, as you can see here, is not a little difficult yet. I don't know, maybe it gets difficult later, but this does not rival what I had to experience on the way all the way up to this turnoff to Esther Mountain. So far, so good here. Very nice as we are pretty near tree line. You can see the trees have gotten much smaller as we move higher up. Well, this is the flack for Mount Esther, 4,270 feet. But as you can see, there is no view here. I just passed the view a few seconds ago, a very limited view, which I'll show in just a minute. So this is the view just off the trail from Esther Mountain. So just an important clarification on the trail today. This last mile, which my guidebook indicated would be the most difficult, is absolutely not. In fact, it was the easiest mile so far. It's simply a matter of navigating the rocks and roots and twists and turns of a narrow trail. Not at all taxing in terms of elevation. I was able to do the mile to Esther from the intersection in just half an hour. So yeah, the hardest mile today was the first 0.8, when it went up 800 feet, because it hits the body like a shock. And then after that, my body, everything got used to, was, ready to go for continuing elevation. But this mile here is not difficult. So anyways, continuing back down to that intersection so I could then turn in the other direction toward Whiteface. So this is the final 1.5 miles to Whiteface Mountain. Relatively flat to start. Obviously boulders everywhere, that's a given, but elevation not a problem right now. Elevation gain. That'll probably change in a bit. This is a little boulder field. Literally, gotta navigate over boulders. Well, the trail is, at this point, has become basically walking over boulders every step. So that slows down the pace, but making progress. So passing a ski lift on the left here, and then back we go up the significant boulders. Well, I must be near the top. This section here, upcoming, I mean, it's been very difficult the last few minutes, and now this looks very challenging up ahead. Just a boulder field. All right, let's do it. So just to tell a little story, just a short while back, I came up to a very steep section coming up, and I frankly was a little intimidated by it. So I decided to not go up initially. Instead, I walked along the street, the road where the cars are, to try to get to the high point. And I walked quite a ways on the road. I've now since turned back and have challenged myself to do this last stretch and overcome my fear of, heights and whatnot. So here we go, final stretch. Hopefully we'll be successful. This is the observatory at the summit right there. Is this the summit here?
Yes, it is.
Hey, just imagine like slipping and falling. No, yeah. I don't want to imagine.
So you can see the cars all lined up to come up to the summit. And I'm going to be taking my own little trail here. Just thrilled to have summited. I'll talk more about it later. Just below the summit. So this was the spot right here that scared me. It actually made me decide not to go forward. And I went up this road where the cars are. I came back down and I found new courage and I went back up. Thank God. I said no. Now it's time to return home. So right now, as I come to the closure of this hike, the last roughly half mile or so, it's just like the beginning of the hike was a relentless ascent. This is a relentless descent. It has the phenomenon of being a bowling ball that wants to just keep moving forward faster than you're comfortable. And I'm often using my hiking poles just to stop my momentum. This is a time of any hike. The end of a hike, you're being exhausted. You have lots of rocks to look down at, and you don't want to get injured at the very end. So you do need to keep focus and finish properly, finish strong. Well, trip's will be over in a few minutes. What an odyssey. A little under 7 hours, 2 high peaks, and just the usual extremely difficult terrain, long, relentless, and at times brutal ascents and descents. The big reward, of course, was not only the overlook, the 360 panoramic, epic summit overlook view at Whiteface, but for me on a personal level, it was my ability to overcome my initial fear of that last section, the steepness of it. I was afraid it might potentially be open ledge with sharp drops and narrow trail, and I just felt nervous and overwhelmed by it. When I first saw it, I bypassed it, walked all the way up to the summit area, not to the summit, but where the cars would drive up to check it out. And then on the way back, walking back, I decided I'm going to give this one more look. Why can't I do this? So in a very similar way to what happened to me when I was hiking towards Rocky Peak Ridge and had a drop off that made me nervous and made me turn back for a moment. And I collected myself and took on the challenge and conquered it. Here I did it as well. And it was just a tremendous feeling to be at that summit. What it meant to me about me and my ability to take on fears, however irrational they may be, take on those personal challenges and extend myself. So I'm very, very happy with that. A very rewarding, as always, deeply challenging, but also rewarding Adirondack high peak hike.